Hey everyone, Jordan here. A couple of months back I looked at the Acer Orion X pre-built system. Now a lot of people actually said on that video they really love the case and would love to buy it without having to spend another 2,000 something pounds on the system parts inside. Now Acer have kindly answered our prayers and now offer the MI900 case. I'm going to unbox it and show you what it's all about. Now worth prefacing this video by saying that I've got a rotated marketing sample here, but hopefully they'll be using this closed cell foam from the actual finished product because it is really quite durable. Here we have the case. Now the big difference you're going to see if I turn this sideways on is this is now white rather than the black. My first thoughts though were taking some of my carbon fibre wrap and wrapping the entire case. I think it will look really nice in a carbon style. Let me know if you'd like to see that. I'm going to try and get my own one of these, and I also might get the Dremel out and see what kind of cards we can fit, as we have got some limitations. So starting at the top of the case, very similar to the Orion X, doesn't come with the plastic front that we see on the Orion X, so you can just get straight to the little accessible external drive. That will take a standard NVMe, so you've got a little portable storage on the go if you want to use that. That will go back in the front there. Below that we have got a USB Type-C and a Type-A. These are both USB 3.2 Gen 1. And we have got a microphone and headphone jack. At the top we have the different zones. Now like the Orion X, this correlates to the side panels and the top. So I've taken out all the thumb screws at the back. And you can just lift up, say, zone 2, and the side panel will open for the respective zone. So let's take a look around that before we actually get inside. For the top, you can see this is zone 3. We have also got a power button. It seems to be illuminated by what I can remember from the X. And then the top panel, if we lift the little lever here for zone 3, that will then slide back and we can wiggle it out to take the top panel off. There you can see two pre-installed 120mm LED fans. This will support 240mm radiator, and I think from what I can tell with the limitations is what the majority of people will be using, as you only have a 41.5mm clearance for an air cooler. On the back of that panel we'll find a very fine mesh, very similar to what we're seeing on some cases. For example, NZXT are now using this instead of a dust filter. It's fine enough that it will catch the dust, but also big enough that we get a nice lot of airflow. So going on to zone 1, so the respective lever, this is meant to be opened with this flap, but obviously I'm filming this, but usually it will come out at 45 degrees and then you just remove it like that. And then you can see we have support for an SFX power supply in the left hand side. We've also got support for our ITX motherboard. I would like to see a little bit of a bigger version that would allow M80X. That'd be quite handy because I know a lot of people do like that form factor. So in terms of the front panel and cables that are included, on the left hand side we have got two 4-pin PWMs for the fans and also two 3-pin headers for RGB. There's also another 3-pin which will be controlling the RGB that's on the front of the case. These little lines will illuminate like we saw on the X. Then we've also got the front panel, so there's a HD audio, we've got the front panel connectors, the USB for the USB Type A and also the Type C. It would be nice to have a little adapter in the box for these RGB headers, because ITX motherboards at most have two 3-pins, so yeah, certainly going to need one for this case. So like I mentioned, maximum of 41.5mm of space for your cooler. I expect most people will run just a radiator though, because you are very tight on space. So going on to our second zone where our graphics card will be found. Also worth mentioning that the side panels you can easily take off the mesh bit, so you can spray them or paint them or do whatever you fancy with. Then we have got here a couple of things going on. Firstly, we have got space for a 2.5-inch SSD in the front of the case. Then there's also a little panel that you can take off to reveal the backplate for the motherboard. That could be quite handy. For graphics card support we have up to 310mm of space. Most cards, especially the higher end ones, around 330. This is a 3080 Ti, and you can see even with the bracket fitting in there, we're sitting at an angle. I tried a 4090 earlier as well, and that went out even further. That was an Acer's Tough Edition, and I wanted to try and fit the card that comes with the pre-built, which is also a 4090. So you're going to have to be very careful, double check all your sizes and things before you order parts. This is another reason why I said I'd like to try and get one of my own of these cases, because I'd like to just take a little bit out of this side panel latch here and then try and fit some bigger cards. So if you'd like to see that, then do leave a thumbs up down below and we'll see if we can. But yeah, just be careful, double check your sizes and parts before you order to avoid disappointment. Back of the case, we've got where our rear I/O will be for our motherboard. We have got a little quick release for the graphics card. There will be a thumb screw in that, but like I said, this is a rotated one, so somebody has not put it back in. Then we've also got a little catch that will come away to reveal some little cable tie points if you want to do some cable management there. Then at the bottom we've got where our power supply will pass through to the front. So while I pop these panels back on, a couple of extra things. You do get a 2-year warranty with this case. One thing you don't get though is a riser cable. You may have noticed there wasn't one included, and I really think there should be. If you're going to make a case that requires one, you should have a riser cable included with it. So that is something you will need to add on. Even a Gen 4 one would be nice to see. A 4090 won't make use of the full bandwidth of Gen 4, so you know, just add one in just to make it a full package would be quite nice. Price wise, I did find one for £139, but that may not be the final price. That could just be a preliminary one until the full stock arrives. So maybe when we do a full build, I'll update you on that. And talking about the build, parts wise, I think the X870i will be a nice little motherboard for this. Let me know what kind of other parts you'd like to see. I do have an Acer GPU on the way for this, so we can try and get as close as we can to the Orion-like performance and see how much we could save. Would be quite an interesting thing. I've actually also got some Acer memory and also storage. They seem to be splitting off into doing some other components as well. So we're going to build an Orion that's not an Orion and kind of see how much we could save. Obviously buying a pre-built, you do spend a little bit more money as it is being built for you as well. So that'd be quite interesting, I think. So let me know anything else you want to know, anything else you'd like to see. Let me know if you want me to wrap it. I think it will look really quite nice in carbon. And then also, hopefully we can get our own and do a little bit of DIY on it as well. So links will be in the description when I can find this. Get subscribed and ding the bell so you don't miss the build video very soon. Thank you to Acer for sending this out for me to look at. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.